So I met Madelyn when I worked at Sinclair Place, and she, from the moment I met her, it was like we were on the same page. We could make each other laugh. I could make her laugh to the point where she'd be on the floor, tears rolling down her face, gonna have a heart attack. She's an old lady. You can't do that. And I did that to her 3 or 4 times in the 7, 8 months I worked at Sinclair Place. And I was a med tech, and I always my normal shift would end at 10 o'clock at night, and I'd do my last med runs, handing out meds to clients, and I always made her the last one, and I would bring 2 cups of coffee because I make a good cup of coffee, and go sit with her and drink a cup of coffee. And I find out years later that coffee's okay, but she really prefers tea, and I would have brought her a cup of tea that whole time, but she's raving about my coffee. So every day I go and give her, bring her a cup of my coffee. That was funny. I was taking care of her a couple months, man, and I walk in and I'm talking to her and I'm going, man, you are just like my dad. She was my dad in female form, and she was 6 months older than he was, same generation, upper middle class. They just, sense of humor. She had the same dry sense of humor that my dad had, and she got me. About a handful of people on this Olympic Peninsula have gotten me, and Madelyn said that when I hired on at Sinclair Place, she had her seat right there in the middle of the dining room, stared right out the front door, anybody walking in. And she said I walked in and she said to herself, "Hello, sailor." And she never passed that on to me. I never got that from her. I never felt that, she tried to set me up with her caregiver. That was bizarre. And Madelyn could see that I was alone and that I was unhappy, and she loved me, and she wanted to, do something for me. So I worked at Sinclair Place for 7 months. I was the med tech. They edged me out. It was screwed. A company came in and bought 49% of them with the 2% option, and after like 4 months, they exercised their 2% option, and the first thing they did was said cut overhead, and that starts with time. Employees, and I went from working 60 hours a week down to 15 my first week. The second week was 20, and it was just anyway, I quit. I went on my 10,000-mile odyssey. I drove the western half of the state of Washington, March of 2018. I made a trip down to see Alicia. Hi, babe. I love you. Thanks for being there through this whole time. Came back up. I had to apologize to you. I'd bitten your head off, and you didn't deserve it, and I felt I needed to apologize to you in person. That's the only reason I made that trip. So I did my 10,000 miles. I come back. I came back. It was July 1st. I spent July 4th that year of 2018 over near Bellingham, Washington. And there must have been $5 million of fireworks bought around me, people lighting off fireworks. It was like just boom, 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 boom all night long. It was like I'm going, Jesus, these people spent some money. And but anyway, July 1st, 2018, man, something clicked inside me, man. Food tasted like shit. Like the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, man. It just tastes like ash in my mouth. And I quit eating. And I'd heard that you quit eating for 11 days, you're going to die. And that is if you're 80 years old and you've, been in a bed for weeks, and, you're not moving, you're not doing anything, and you're just, your whole body's shutting down. But I went 11 days without eating. I think about 15, 16 days into it, I came down to get some water, and I grabbed just a small bag of M&Ms, and I ate that. Pooped a M&M bag size next day. That's the only thing I ate. You know, just I did drink water. I was drinking Kool-Aid and Hawaiian Punch just to be able to get watered down. Man, I'd given up. I was done, man. I was done, man. The spark of life in me was fading fast. I went from July 1st to August 2nd, man. 42 days. I didn't eat. Came down, talked to Angie. She was the first person I called. I said, God, if you're, 42 days, you're not taking me now. You only asked 40 of Jesus. Maybe you're not going to take me. So I came down. And it was interesting because that 10,000 mile odyssey I was looking for a place to work over on the other side and a place to live. I didn't, I wasn't sure what, I was going to do, where I was going to end up, but I knew I wanted to work healthcare, senior healthcare. I have a calling for it. Until I met Madelyn, it was just a calling. I could do it really good. All four of you kids, man, you taught me how to pay attention to somebody and meet their needs, and I did that, and I'm good at it. I can be around a person and I can see what they need. So I come down August 12th, go to the hospital, man. They didn't do shit for me. They just gave me an anti-throw up medicine and 2 6-ounce Sprites. That's all they did for me, and sent me on my way, kicked me out. I didn't have insurance. That pisses me off. That's a whole nother story. When I did have insurance, they wanted to run exotic tests on me. Fuck you. Anyway, I came down, I went to the hospital, ended up, I spent the night at a friend's house that night. That was a Saturday, it was a Sunday. I came down Sunday. I had to go into my old work to talk to HR. So I go in, and I hadn't even thought about it until I walked through the doors. And when I worked there, man, people loved me. I couldn't go in on my off hours because people would just, want to talk to me, and I'd be sitting there for, 20 minutes, half an hour on my day off at work. And I'm like, so I couldn't just go in there. And I didn't want to go in there because I didn't want to be cornered by people and explain what happened and why I quit and wasn't there anymore. And they loved me, man. Employees didn't, but they did, man. I was good with those World War II vets. I could speak their guy code. That was, I got a gift. Jason, you got soccer, man. I can take care of people. I have empathy, sympathy, compassion, patience. So I walk in there and I go, I got to get to get the HR number and talk to them. And so I walk through the door and I go, I'm going to see Madelyn. I don't give a shit. I'm going to see Madelyn. And I hadn't eaten in 42 days, and the employees were having a employee meeting, and they saw me walk in, and Mike, he was a maintenance guy. He was ex-police officer in Port Angeles. He thought he was hot shit, man. He walked up like he's going to fucking, I'm take care of this guy. And you could see, man, and I probably weighed, I don't know what I weighed when I came down. Nobody ever weighed me. I think I weighed about 135 pounds, 130 pounds. I mean, I went from a size 32 jeans to a 27. So I walk in there and I go, I need a number for HR. And I go, you know what? I'm going to see Madelyn. And I walk back to her door. And Mike escorts me. And so I knock on her door. I was always really good, man. You had to acknowledge me. You had to say, come in. You had to say yes. You had to do something. I wasn't just opening your fucking door. That pisses me off, People do that, and, it's like you don't have any rights at all. But, and I hear Madelyn go, yes, come in. And so I open the door, and she's not sitting in her living room watching TV. She's in her bed, and I say, last time I came in here, I had to kick your ass out of bed. And then I went, wait a minute, she hasn't seen me in 8 months. She has no idea. And I said, oh, it's John Gale. And she was out of bed like boom. I mean, it was funny, man. She was just, she had a walker, man. She used a walker. She didn't move fast. Her knees, she blew one of her knees out playing volleyball in high school, long time ago. And it's fucked up her life ever since. And it's been a problem. Anyway, She jumps up and comes out, hugs me and stuff. And I learned in my caregiving, man, you don't give your clients your phone number because they will call you, and I don't want to be called by my clients anyway. So I never exchanged phone numbers with her, but we did that day, and we talked that night. That was a Monday. We got together, I think, for lunch on Tuesday. We were together every day from August 13th till she died. Every single day, and I never got tired of her. I'd get tired of being around people. It's like, enough, be gone, give me some space. But I never got tired of being around Madelyn. So I was going, I cannot do it anymore. I cannot spin my wheels. I can't just keep driving around trying to find something. I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna go back up there and finish the job, man. Just, if it's just gonna be the same shit. And like I said, man, I could make Madelyn laugh. I'd walk up to her and just smile at her, like, and I don't know, we had a no-word conversation, man. She'd laugh at me, it was great. Anyway. So, we're calling 2 or 3 times a day. We're spending hours together a day. I told her, man, I said, you now have a vehicle and a driver. You can go anywhere you want. You're not stuck at Sinclair Place anymore. I think she appreciated that. So that Wednesday, I'm like, just, okay, we're going to see what happens. I didn't see anything going with Madelyn. I just knew I enjoyed spending time with her. I enjoyed seeing her again. She said she prayed harder for me to come back than I prayed to die. Yeah, she must have. So, it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock that night on Wednesday. So that would have been like the 15th, I think it was. 13th, 15th, something. August 15th. It was a Wednesday. I know it was a Wednesday. And we're talking 10:30 at night. And we tried to remember what she said, but she said something to me that had me, I was living in my truck up in the woods, and I was on the floor of my truck, tears rolling down my face, laughing my head off. I am gonna have a heart attack. I've had 3 up till that point. I am like, she just had me just roaring. It was like, I haven't roared like that in, long time, 20 years. And I instantly, it fanned the flame of spark in my life when Madelyn did that. That was the only thing that bring me back, was Madelyn fanning the flames like that. And it just didn't fan them. It exploded into a fireworks display. That's what it turned into. It brought me back to life. People don't understand this. I used to say I was Madelyn's slave, and there's connotations to that don't apply here, but she brought me back to life. She put the spark of life back in me. Nothing else could have done that, and it was the laughter of love that did it. When Madelyn did that, the laughter of love, man, it was like I became hers. And I said that night, I didn't tell anybody, didn't say it wasn't even a prayer, wasn't talking to God. I said, number one, I'm going to get Madelyn out of Sinclair Place, have them stop swindling her. She didn't belong there. Everybody that went to Sinclair Place was sent there by their families to die because they could not fucking handle them. That was the only reason. And Madelyn wasn't ready to die. She was comfortable there. She was the queen bee. That was her place. You spend 21 days somewhere, that you get comfortable. That just is proven science. It takes 21 days. So anyway, she was pissed because Bridge Builder sold her car for $5,000 less than she had a written offer for, and they were swindling her. I was going to take her out from under them. I thought Rain Shadow did her. It was an caregiving, senior caregiving outfit here in Sequim, and I thought they were swindling her, but they weren't swindling her the way I thought they were. But they were swindling her. Her fucking attorney, Carl Gay, charged us $3,500 to get the squatters out of Madelyn's house. Gave him $1,000. He wrote a really nasty letter. Nothing happened. He goes, I need another $2,500. I go in and give him $2,500, and that motherfucker goes to the Philippines to get married a week later for 30 days. Talk to his secretary. Oh, we're emailing back and forth. And I'm going, this guy's over there getting, some Filipino stuff, and he's thinking about Madelyn? Yeah, right. Right. If you ever get me one-on-one, ask me about my Filipino women thing. I've never been with one, but, ask me what... I used to work with these Filipino guys, and they used to talk. I always thought it was interesting. Madelyn, this one's for you. Down here at the Longhouse, the Indian, general store here, Sundays, sometimes there would be these vets out there, and they're selling hats in their table, and I walk up and I said, they had like 4 hats that I liked, and I'm going, how much, and he goes, I'll tell you what, we'll give you 5 for $45. I'm going, okay, cool. So I went through and I'm getting hats and I'm putting them in piles and stuff, and and it just, and I go, I'll give you $50 for it. So I gave him $50 for no, it was 5 hats for $45 is what it was, because it was $8 a hat. And so I got 5 hats. I get home and I brought 6 hats home. I had a couple Air Force, 2 Navy, one with an eagle, and another one, it was some American flag, something, Anyway, so I paid, I bought 5 hats and took 6, and it felt like a shell game, when I was doing the hats and stuff at their table. So I ran back down here when I realized, and they were gone already by the time I realized and got back down here. And so saw him a month or 2 later, man, and I remembered one of the guys' name was Dallas, and I always remember the name Dallas because my grandparents' neighbors was named Dallas, Betty and Dallas. So I come back and I go, man, I got home that day. He sold me 5 hats for $50, and I got home with 6, so I just gave him $20, and they're going, wow, man, you're honest. I was like, most people are like, yeah, well, karma's a bitch, man. I've learned that one. So Madison, you're pregnant. You're about full term. I think the hardest month of a woman's life, being with, around your mom, is that last month. That is, it's never going to end. My thoughts and prayers are with you. I hope everything's well. I hope you are well. I hope you and Fritz are doing well. Tell him I'm proud of him, I'm proud of both you guys. A parent's job, maybe not their job, but the thing is you want your kids to do better than you, and my parents, Misty's parents, didn't help us to do that. They didn't help us to be better parents than they were. They failed utterly. I think it was coming out of the 50s, America was like fucking teenagers, and going into the 60s, it's like, and then coming out of the 60s, America matured in a weird way too. I mean, it was, back in the 50s, and, Lucille Ball, man, they're sleeping in separate beds. Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, that type of shit to where we are today. Anyway. I'm gonna be a grandpa. I have wanted that so badly. I may never meet this child. Haven't been within 1,200 miles of them. But know in my heart, your mom and I did better than our parents did, no matter what. We did better. You guys were better prepared. A friend of mine told me 16% of the youth of America qualified for today's military, and 3 of my kids did. And if Felicia had lost weight, she would have. I mean, shit. We did something right. So Madison, my heart is, enjoy that you're going to be a mom, and I think you'll be a really good mom. I think your kids will do better than you. I hope so. I have hope for that because where you guys are, what you've done. I don't know if you got a college degree, Madison, but I can't imagine you don't. I can't imagine your husband got one and you didn't. So if you did, congratulations. I am so proud. I'm proud that, I wish your military career had ended otherwise medically than medically, but, I'm proud of you. You fulfilled your commitment. I don't know. I hope you have nothing to hang your head in shame about. You know that. But you did it. You fulfilled your military career. Wow. I am going to sign off for now. We will get back on here later.